All right. One more lesson for today, folks. Number 26, process visualization. So in lesson 25, I talked to you about positive self-talk and visualizing the process, not the outcome. You can visualize the outcome, but I don't think that's as critical. And I'll talk to you in the next lesson. I'll make one more lesson about visualizing the outcome in a minute. Okay. Here's the processes that I need to visualize in order to be successful in my trading. And if I look at the experiences recently where I've had a bad experience trading and lost money versus the times when I've had a good experience and gained money, some of the big words that stand out for me are I was calm. I was peaceful. So I have this peaceful piano playlist that I play in the morning when I'm trading and getting ready to trade. I'm calm and peaceful. Those are my, and then when I've not done well, I've been stressed. I have this weird tunnel vision, sort of like weird tunnel vision, like too hyped up. These are all things that I don't want to visualize. So I visualize calm and peaceful as like the overarching mood that I'm going to visualize. Okay, process visualization. Here's the processes that I visualize. So at some point in time today, I will set aside time and I will visualize myself. And remember, the process for doing that is, so there's a movie, and that movie is playing me sitting in bed with my laptop. And that movie's playing in a movie theater. I've got a little thing of popcorn here. And I'm watching the movie of myself planning. And up here in the balcony is me, and I'm looking at through my own eyes at this. So first person looking down here. And so me sitting from my point of view, my eyeballs looking out, I'm watching myself watch the movie of me planning and building my watch list. And what I do is I visualize building the watch list easily, calmly, happily, without distractions. And I can see myself like cycling through charts and looking on the website where I find the gaps and looking at StockFetcher and scanning. And I visualize the whole process. And what I visualize is the process of choosing a stock, putting it on the watch list in TradingView, and typing it in and getting my main trading day watch list, which for whatever reason I call it the 57. I call that the watch list in TradingView, and I add stocks to that. And I delete all the ones from the day, and I watch myself watching myself delete the stuff from the watch list and put new stuff on the watch list and see what the charts look like and put the stuff into the slide deck. The next thing, and I do that in the evenings. So I visualize that sometime before I do it. So sometime today I'll visualize myself later on. What it helps me do is if somebody calls me and wants to go out and hang out tonight, I realize that I've already visualized myself building that watch list and doing that work. So whatever else I have going on or whatever other thing somebody wants me to do, I have to realize that it's going to get in the way of the watch list. And that's fine. I have canceled trading in the last week and a half at times because I wanted to go out and blow off some steam and whatnot. It's fine. And then I visualize the process. I actually did this, visualize the process of having a good time with the friends and the process of going, whatever. Sounds insane. I know this sounds insane, everybody. I am telling you, though, I'm just being transparent. Okay, the next thing that I do before I go to bed is I visualize revising the watch list in the morning. So I will visualize myself revising the watch list, getting up in the morning, checking the watch list. I visualize, actually, I know this sounds weird, Jeff Litziak, or Michael Person, sorry. I don't know. I'm just seeing your names as I see them in the chat. Sorry. I could see myself getting a message from you and adding a couple things to the watch list. I visualize Jeffrey sort of commenting on an echo trade that he might have. I visualize the SPACs that might be gapping lower. I visualize myself looking at the opening gaps on the website where I look for opening gaps and I visualize myself looking at it and adding something to the revised watch list. So I watch myself, watching myself do that happily, calmly, and whatnot. Then I visualize in the morning, at some point in time in the morning, I actually close my eyes, I sit on the couch, there's like the peaceful piano playlist playing, and I'm watching myself look at the candles on the chart. And this one, I just see the chart. So I'm watching, there's a bullish candle, there's a bullish candle. Oh, and there's a bearish one. And I can see that bearish one crossing there, and that's the entry. Or I visualize it like this, and there's the bearish candle. And then there's another bearish candle, and I visualize myself taking the entry. Like I watch the candles and I play it. Like there's like a bunch of different ways that candles can break down and cause a bearish move that I know I want to enter. And I watch those candles. And in some cases, which is really psycho to some people, I draw these. And every single successful trading day that I've had this month, the night before, I drew versions of what the 5-minute candles might look like in a bunch of different forms. Crazy, right? I mean, but then, and none of the patterns actually emerged that way. Like I didn't foresee the future. None of them actually looked like the stuff that I drew. It just helped me identify what I was looking for. Then I visualized myself sometime in the morning before I'm doing the trading, before the market opens, placing the right trade at the right time with the right size. This is so critically important. And I watch myself watching the movie where I'm the star. And that movie, when I'm watching it, it's in color. There's a soundtrack to that movie. I'm happy to watch that movie. I'm excited because I'm watching myself place the right trade with the right size at the right time. Does it make you excited to think about doing that? Imagine yourself placing the right trade with the right size at the right time. You're watching a movie of yourself and you're doing all the right things. You're pressing the button. You're not manic about it. You're not answering the phone and cooking breakfast, and you've got the time and the place. And you imagine that all the distractions are gone. Or maybe you have a family and kids and whatever else. And so you imagine, even with those distractions, you imagine taking a moment, standing at your computer and doing the right trade at the right time and the right size. So whatever it is, the circumstance, you process, right? You're visualizing the process of doing it in a way that makes sense for you. Now, I was traveling a week and a half ago, and I couldn't imagine finding some way to place the right trade with the right size at the right time, or watch the candles for the entry, or revising my watch list. I couldn't imagine it. The circumstances of my traveling and the place that I would be and the breakfast plans that I was going to have, they just weren't conducive to any of this. And I realized I can't do both things. So what I did instead was I visualized a happy morning on vacation. Like I visualized that process. And it was one of the great mornings because of that. So there was something else that at right time, at the right thing at the right time. It wasn't a day for trading. So it was a day for waking up and having breakfast with friends and laughing and having a good time. And that's what I visualized. And that's what worked out. Okay, next I want to visualize watching my profit and loss fluctuate. So I actually visualize myself watching the screen plus 500, minus 100, minus 400, minus 1,000. And I visualize myself closing the losing trade calmly and easily. What this does for me is this happened to me this morning. I realized I have to lower my position size. I had visualized myself taking 1,000 shares of AGIO, but I realized as I visualized the P&L fluctuate, I realized it was going to fluctuate too much if I traded 1,000 shares. It would get to $1,000 loss too easily, too quickly. So I reduced the position size to 500. Next, I visualize holding the winner to a target. And this thing I had in my mind the result. I wanted to make $1,200 today. So I visualized a $1,200 gain in a trade. What ended up happening was I had 855 on one, 655 on another. I actually had a profit of like 300 on UVXY, but that wasn't a trade that I took today. And it, turned out to be more. At one point, the trade on Baidu was up almost exactly $1,200. And it's like, it triggered something in my mind where I held it to that. And I just said, closing it all down. I don't care if it goes further. I don't care what it does now. I visualize it. It's almost like watching myself do it made it easier to do in the same way, like I said before, like I learned to drive a stick shift by living in Italy and watching my missionary companion drive a stick shift for a year. And I got home and I knew how to drive a stick because I'd watched him so many times. I knew all the motions. So by visualizing the motions, it just made it easier. Like, and this thing happened to me today. I saw this Baidu profit and I was like, ooh, it's going to be big. I'm going to get greedy. And then I was like, what am I doing? I said, what am I doing? Because I knew that the way that I saw it wasn't lining up with the way that it was. So oftentimes we're greedy and we get away with it because we haven't prepared our mind for anything else. I didn't have anything to compare it to usually, but I had something this time. I compared that greedy feeling with what I had visualized and I realized, no, I'm at the thing I visualized. The thing that I visualized is happening. It's time. And it was easy to do it because I had seen myself close a $1,200 winner, 20 times? 20 plus times. It was so easy to do because I'd already seen myself do it. We do what we think is easy. We do what we believe we can do. So you walk every day because you take it for granted. You breathe in and out because you take it for granted. Well, you close a $1,200 winner because you take it for granted. It's a muscle memory kind of a thing. Okay, I'm going to come back in lesson 27 and talk about visualizing the outcome. Okay, back soon.